Hello, my beautiful soul tribe. I hope everybody is having a wonderful morning. It's a very, very, very early start to the morning for me. But, I hadn't done a live collective reading in a long time and couldn't sleep. So I thought, you know what? There's a lot of energy going on right now. And I just want to have my awesome, wonderful collectives wake up to what I am hoping to be a inspirational, helpful message for those that need to hear it. Now, this is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with everybody. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Check back, another day, check back on different readings. I have kept my word, and even through the lot of energy changes going on in my life, I've used them to motivate me to, I'm really big about, say what you mean what you say. And even if the shit gets tough, I still been working hard on my project, and it's so beautiful, truly, when you pay attention to how, and I've been seeing this in a lot of personal readings I've been doing too. Like I did one last night for somebody, and it was so interesting, and I had to explain to them that even though like this reading's coming out like this, there's so much beauty in the darkness and the human and the flesh too. Like, you compare spirituality with light, and you kind of compare the human shit with darkness. But it's like, I know I always feel at home when I'm all up in my spiritual shit. And that's why right now, when I couldn't sleep, the first thing I thought of was like, you know what? I want to go help my people. I want to go lay some shit out. Talk about some real shit. And that's all good. But we have to remember we're in the flesh too. And sometimes, like, you're like, I just need a fucking goddamn hug. Like, thanks for sending me, the light and all this spiritual stuff, but can I just have a fucking hug? Can I just fucking cry? Can I bleed to know that I'm even alive? Like, and if I'm not, can I just go home? And that's something that I really was picking up as I was doing the pre-shuffle and meditating, which is so interesting. I love being awake at this hour, having an infant, and the health stuff I'm going through, and just all the changes. It's been hard to. I mean, I don't really even have a set schedule, but really, I come alive at night. I'm a night owl. And it's so interesting because the candles, the sage, the polysanthos, like when I lit everything, it was just like a beautiful, like so much fire energy than it normally ever has when I'm doing it in the daytime or distracted. And I'm not really worried about that anymore either, because I did go ahead and purchase what I needed to, so that way if there was distractions, it'll make it really easy to cut those right out, nip that in the butt, and get a lot more videos out to you guys. And I wasn't going to talk about the other part just yet because I want to complete a little bit more on it before I announce it, but it's in the works and I have a good feeling about it. So, and I was actually working on it before I came out here to do this, and I was missing y'all. So, anyways, but a lot of the energy I'm getting with the collective right now is that we kind of got like a little, you know how they, oh gosh, and I should know this because I'm from California, even though I'm in Texas now, but we had a lot of earthquakes, and I forgot if there was a specific word, like a pre-shake or something. You always get like a little, before an earthquake, you get like a little pre-shake. I can't remember the exact word, before the actual big earthquake. And as a collective, I think we all felt that with this previous energy that happened and just kind of like turned shit in directions that we weren't quite up to par in our yoga positions to quite balance ourselves with. I mean, we could do the straight up and upside down shit, but this was all sideways and tilted and all that. But we knew that the what, level 10, is that what it is? I might sound so dumb right now as far as my environmental knowledge goes, because I am exhausted, and we also got in a bad car wreck. So physically and mentally I'm exhausted, but I'm spiritually totally there. And I think that's why I wanted to come on here, because it's like that was the only place I felt I needed to be right now. And I always believe that whenever someone watches it, when they watch it, they'll be watching it at the time they need to, and because they need to. And if they don't, then they click the fuck off, you know? But what I kept getting is just that sorry, I wrote like a couple of notes, and then I was like, oh, I can remember this, because it's a lot of redundant stuff. You know, I think that we thought that we had this shift thing down, right? And we knew it was going to be sporadic. It was going to bring up like shit that, you know, we weren't, it was almost like we were prepared for the unprepared. But at the same time, we also were, I think, had an expectation of where we wanted to be. And a lot of us are realizing that the things that we thought we were preparing for didn't exactly come in the box or shape that we expected it to. And so we're having to adjust to that. Like, definitely didn't expect. Like, I mean, we knew tower moments were going to happen. They were going to happen for all of us. Or, you know, even the good shit that was going to happen. We didn't expect it to come the way that it looked. And it's almost like, even as a collective, and even being at a highly more spiritual ascension, I guess you could say, than others, it's still almost like people are feeling a little lost in limbo, a little lost in translation here. And the divine's really stressing patience. And, you know, there was a huge thing that I feel them talking, sending the message across strongly about, but we'll see if it comes out in the cards. And if it doesn't, I'll just do a separate video on it because it was that powerful. And I agree with them, and I can see that. So, you know, Spirit, I just want to lift up my wonderful collective soul tribe that's here with me today. And thank you for being with us right now. And I just want to ask that you give us the messages that we need to receive right now, Spirit. A lot of us are a little discombobulated. Okay. And health. I mean, yeah, definitely health. As I say, discombobulated. Okay. Health and self-care was another one. You know, when we are stressing so much because we're trying to control so much, or not necessarily that. Oh my gosh, y'all. And this, I just looked up and it's 2:22. I don't know for anybody else if that resonates. But I know for me, and that's not a normal number for me, twos have been everywhere. And it was even like 2:22 down to 22 seconds. That's crazy. But yeah, you know, we are, like I was saying, discombobulated. And that's to be expected, I think, with this energy. It just is what it is. You know? I thought going into the Pisces energy would help a little bit. You know, and maybe it has in a little bit of a disguised way. I thought it would help in more of a clarity way. But now that I think about it, I was going to say, you know, I thought it would help a lot more than it is. But I think it is helping in the sense that it's, I don't even know the words how to see, you know, and that's the other thing is a lot of us in the collective, we had severe downloads at very rapid rates, you know. Some of us are used to receiving a lot of downloads, but I don't think we're used to receiving as many as we are while we're experiencing major shifts and while we're experiencing you know, all the other things. Y'all know what I'm talking about, if you know what I'm talking about. And so it's really, and I always tell people, like, it's your spiritual, your mental, and your physical health are the three things that you want to keep in balance. Because when one's off or two, you can bet the other are off. And I know that I just said, you know, a couple minutes ago that, you know, with the car accident and then some other stuff with that physically and mentally, but spiritually, I'm all here. That's not to say that I'm necessarily 100% all right. I'm not. But I think we have a certain understanding with each other, and a certain unity with each other. And unity was one of the things that Spirit has been bringing me a lot of messages about, and telling me to get my ass moving and doing a video on it too, because it's really important. And I don't think we will realize how important unity is and how much we've lost it and how much it actually is affecting our health. Friendship. There you go, right there. Okay. A lot of us are feeling so, and I'm sorry about the glare, y'all. It's weird that there's a glare, right? Well, no, it's not. I guess it's just the computer. But friendship. A lot of us are feeling like physically homesick, or like kind of like when you get on a boat and you get seasick. To me, homesick feels the same way. Like I'm just nauseous, discombobulated, just yearning for that sense of home, even though I'm home. And so we, and as much as I believe that solitude and time to reflect and go within ourselves is definitely important. But I think that we're feeling feelings that we're not used to, like I was explaining, kind of like lost in translation. You know, it's very similar to the car wreck I was just in. It's kind of like when you get in a car wreck and, you know, they're asking you questions. Like, the first one they asked me, who's the president? Well, Trump. That's fun. That's cute that that's your question to see if somebody's lucid or not. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I just thought that was an interesting first question for them to ask me. But it's almost like that's how it feels. Like you just got in a car wreck and it's like you know the answers to the questions, but you've got this adrenaline pumping, but at the same time your body just went through like a severe like whiplash, so your head's like discombobulated, but you know how to operate. I mean, first thing is like checking on my baby and saying what I need to say to the person acting a fool out there on them streets and doing wrong shit. And I know none of us are perfect, but I'm sorry. There's a certain line you just don't cross when you're putting other people's life in danger. But anyways. So I think with that, we're feeling like not only are the feelings uncomfortable, so it's making us want to isolate, but we're thinking that other people aren't going through it too. And it's really affecting our health. Like those of us that normally, stress releases, cortisol, which is contributed to a lot of things. I mean, look at me. I'm awake right now. I should be getting rest, especially right after a car accident. But it's just this energy we're in. And then, we're also finding out, because the fact that some of us are still purging. It's like I said before, it's going to happen at all different times for people. And I have a feeling that it wasn't even just about the blood moon. Like it might just be a 2019 thing. It's going to happen at a different time. Some of us got our purging and our tower moment at the beginning, or so we thought we did. We got a pre-shake and then we got the real thing. Any last messages from this deck? Or this one's pretty quiet. Maybe we're moving on. But really, it's the opposite. I think we need to be reaching out to friends even more. And some of us may feel like we don't have friends right now because we cut so many people off because they were so toxic, you know. And that affects your health too. I mean, and you don't have to be like a huge social butterfly or whatever, but just getting some interaction with others is so important for our health. You know, it's kind of like when you're a new mom and you don't end up out. Okay, you're special. Okay, well, we all know this because we're the collective, right? Not only that, but I pulled this deck for a specific reason. I don't know how to. Oh, you know what? I know how I can do it. Let me see if this works, y'all. Yeah, there we go. If I just make this good. Oh, maybe not. So then I'm going to turn it back up then so I can fucking see. Anyways, because this is the... I chose to start with this deck first because another thing that I haven't gotten to go over, and I wanted to go over, or I wanted to do a video on like the deep shit, like the deep downloads that I got. Well, I mean, I've had so many shifts now, but there was some important information that I got, and this is the indigo. Is it Indigo Angels? I don't know. Indigo Angel Oracle cards, okay? Because we have the collective, but with the stuff that's going on in the spiritual realm right now, it's more than just a collective thing that's going on. And bottom of the deck, y'all, make a wish. So go ahead. Take that good energy, make that wish. I should have told you at 2:22 to make a wish. It's bottom of the deck. So anyways, yeah, just know, and you know, it's so sad because, you know, when you look at this card, it's like she looks so, the energy I feel from it, and this is what I feel like a lot, like there's so many of us out there, like we got wings and we do things every day to just make humanity that much better if we can, you know, down to even if it's not humanity, if it's Mother God, you know, if it's picking up fucking trash that's right next to a dumpster that other people don't give a fuck about, and it's like the dumpster's right there and they can't throw it away, so you're just gonna fucking trash all over like what we've been given to live on. You know, like that kind of shit bothers me so bad. Like I think, like, do you piss and shit where you sleep too? I mean, come on. Like, you know, and there's the Native American quote too that talks about how, like, the earth isn't ours to own. We're borrowing it from the future generations, our children, our grandchildren. I treat it like that. Sorry, stuff like that just gets me going. Like, just not, when it comes to nature, kids, pet, like animals, just not cool. But I really feel them saying, like, as much as you're feeling this awkward feeling, no, it's because you're special. But know that, with that and with this agreement in being an indigo or being a starseed child or, like I said, I always say I try not to use titles because I feel like it puts limitations. I think you can be various things. You could be an indigo. You can do various things. And there's various types of people. Some people have one gift that another doesn't have, and another has one that they don't have, and another reason why unity is important. I mean, dream a beautiful dream, okay? We're in really low vibration right now, okay? But 1 in 9. Or I'm sorry, 1 in 9. So that's 10. And I was just gonna say, we're in a really low vibration right now, but it's almost like it's coming across as one of those things when they say sometimes you have to break everything down in order to build up something better. And honestly, I think that that's why the vibrations and everybody, even people that are spiritually normally very ascended, are feeling so pulled down, is because I don't think it's a permanent thing. I just think it's that, like I said before, this is the real deal. And that's why it feels so, it's kind of like if you were ever in, I don't know, something in school, like the talent show or something. Yeah, and you do rehearsals all the time and it's like whatever. But then when the real show comes, you start feeling sick to your stomach, you get sweaty, you get anxious, you get, it's the real deal. This is the real deal. This is the real, make it or break it. Are we gonna fix this shit? And is humanity going to realize what's important or not? I mean, and honestly, I don't care how this sounds, but it's like we've become so pathetic that entities from other places are having to come to try to help us. It's like we're little freaking kindergartners and people are having to come in, or well, I don't want to use that word because I don't want to offend anyone, but the difference is we know better, from what I was going to say. We know better. And which means we can do better. And so I think that's another thing too, is those of us that are very spiritually in tuned and very deeply in shit, not that we're better than anyone else. And that's why I always use the analogy. It's like I asked them, what's a way that I can put it to where it doesn't sound like I'm talking like we're better than anyone else. And it came very clear and simple was, well, it's just like school. Some people are in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. Some people are in middle school. Some people are seniors getting ready to graduate. You never stop growing once you awake spiritually. And sometimes we regress too. I know I did a lot of times because we get looked at weird or we get called something, especially, if it's by someone, that we care about or we thought cared about us. And then they want to say, crazy talk, whatever. When they know that when it benefited them, it was all good and real and they believed. I didn't even see this card yet before I talked about that. But it says free from judgment, free to love. So this is really important. Like the vibrations are not going to raise y'all until it's almost like, you know how like when, I don't know, it makes me want to think of, 39, that breaks down to 4, and sometimes, to me that can remind me of, stability or instability in the material world. And that's totally what this is all about. The judgment isn't coming from the spiritual world. Why are we that? I mean, that's why we're so comfortable there. We don't get judged there. That's nothing but love. But Spirit's trying to tell us, hey, you're in the flesh right now. So, live like you would if you were at home. Free from judgment, free to love. Have to, because without love, humanity is not going to change. And when you love and you show that light, just like I teach my sons, you give somebody else the permission to do the same. It's almost like it's contagious. It really is, just like a smile. I mean, you could be having a shitty day and someone smiles at you and you automatically just, smile back, Bottom of the deck, come to life, okay? It's like I was saying, I know that, we're more comfortable sometimes, most of us. I'm trying to get that reflection. Because this is such a beautiful picture. Because she's literally like, it's black and white, and she's slowly like, hi, taking a paintbrush and coloring herself back to life. And I really feel like it's because the vibrations are so low. It's why a lot of us are feeling like, I'm just ready to be done. I want to go home. But the good shit hasn't even happened yet. What are we talking about? We want to go home. We're just in and I think that's why cycles keep coming up. We're just in a cycle. It's like, sorry guys, TMI, but like our fucking cycles, like when we're PMSing, it's like the world's just going through a PMS moment, and then we're gonna get through it, and then we're gonna be fucking like baking cookies and shit, handing them out to our neighbors, like, right now we're just really needing to listen hard, listen for the truth. And honestly, y'all, don't be, and I don't want to get off track here, but I'm getting so frustrated with this whole Fortnite video game bullshit. I swear to God, my older son was so, and I still am proud of him. I mean, children are always they're growing, they're learning and stuff like that. But this damn video game, I swear, he gets on that thing and he's got such a beautiful soul. And I know he's going to do such beautiful things for humanity. I already know it with both of my kids. I've already seen it. I mean, you know, they're going to have to face some hard stuff, you know, just like anyone else. And, you know, but anyways, this game draws these kids in so deep that, like, the whole time, all you're hearing is them talking negative to each other. And then it's like, even you go to say something to them and they snap negative back at you. And I'm like, whoa, 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 hold up. What is this you're playing again? Because this is not my child. Like, even on the days that you're freaking cranky, you don't act like this. And this is a damn game. And you're going to sit there and, like, say, like, ugly shit like that, like, to strangers, but then to your own parents? Like, that's something I'm struggling with right now, because I understand, like, when I was a kid, like, I was all up in nature, hands getting dirty outside, stuff like that. And that was my point with that, like, with the listening for truth. Listen for the truth in nature, in the elements, earth, fire, water, air, spirit. Those are the only places that we should be listening for truth. Not on social media, not even in media. Well, I guess I will say one thing. I do think with some music that kind of is a little bit different, because I do believe that music holds some beautiful truth to the point that it's truth that can't even be spoken unless it's expressed through music. So that's one thing that's different. But, you know, I mean, and it's seriously impacting me. I mean, and honestly, I think out of all the things going on, like, that's one of the things that has me really shook up right now, is how I saw him being, you know. And, you know, he's been like that off and on a little bit, but it's like it's getting worse and worse, and I'm to the point where I'm sorry, but you know what? Your ass is bored. I'm gonna take that phone away, and your ass is bored. I'm sorry. Pick up a book, pick up something, learn to draw, or take your ass outside and go learn how to freaking build something out of something, you know? Rigid. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Things are really uncomfortable. Just rocky and cold and dark. But, you know, this is the number 30, you know, and the number 3, one of the biggest things with that is it symbolizes multiple you know, trinities across all kinds of cultures, you know. It's the number of the spirit. It's the first sign of manifestation. It's knowledge, understanding, you know. It also carries with it, you know, Leo energy. I don't know why I don't normally do that, but for some reason felt compelled to say that. So however that resonates for somebody. But, you know, even behind that rigidness, you see that bright divine light. And that's what I'm telling y'all, that I think that you know, this energy is just temporary, and it's just the first sign of something bigger that's manifesting within humanity. But still there's that one thing, and that's how it is. I mean, the yin and the yang duality. I mean, you gotta have, you know, there's still that one thing, and that's free will. Are we really gonna suck it up and do it, or are we gonna keep being, you know, cowardly? The high priestess is spirit. I mean, and it's interesting, and I always say this about cards, like, it doesn't matter how many times you use them. Kind of like, it doesn't matter, like, it's like you watch a movie 5 times and you watch it the sixth time and you still see something different. And I could never notice that before, you know? Or it just hits you in a different way. And the energy with this is like, again, well, actually now I just saw something I never saw before in this card. Which actually what I'm feeling, well, first I'll say what I was going to say is, so the high priestess is spirit. It's like she's looking down like disappointed, like I told you. I mean, the divine loves us regardless. But yeah, just like we love our kids regardless, we get disappointed. Just like I was just talking about. My son is every beat of my heart, every breath I take. And that's why it hurts so bad. And I get disappointed when I'm trying to express something like I love you and I get, shut up, you're annoying, you know. But it's our job to correct that behavior. And so that's the energy I'm picking up with this high priestess of earth, is just kind of this you know, looking down with disappointment look. Now, what I never actually really saw before was all these faces behind her, and I don't know if y'all can see that with the glare, because they're almost kind of transparent, kind of like when you see an entity in a photo. Like if you're somebody who, I forget what they call that, photokinetic or something like that, but I can do that. Like I can see entities and spirits in like regular photos. And that's what this reminds me of. And it's also 7, and I'm hearing the 7 stages of grief. There's 7 stages of grief. And so I don't know. However that resonates, that's what I feel. It's just that the divine, our higher selves, you know, there's just, even our us in the flesh, there's so much grief right now over so many different aspects. It's like grief and sorrows touching everything. But the positive thing, y'all, is I really think that it's a temporary thing. And it's all about that purging what no longer serves us to build up something that is going to be for our greater good. And I pray that that's what it is, because that's what our children, our grandchildren, etc., that's what they deserve. They don't deserve this shit the way that people are, doing our Mother God. I say Mother God, Mother Nature. That's my mama. Nature raised me. Understanding is coming in reverse, and I just really think that that's just to lightly touch on, what I was saying is like our human mind just can't quite understand people's behaviors, people's motives, and I'm going to tell you this right now, okay? The definition of insanity: doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, okay? This is so simple, and I had to realize it one day with certain people I had in my life that were not doing any good for me. So trying to figure out why things are the way they are, why people that we had so much respect for or thought were a certain way, and then they just totally blindside us or totally just do us some kind of way that is like, really? Like, and you're just, that does nothing beneficial. So it's almost like driving yourself insane, like sitting there trying to figure out why does nothing. So it's better to listen to your intuition. Bottom of the deck, the moon, okay? For those of you who know, the moon is about illuminating those things that either people try to hide or, and this is also 50, which is down to 5, changing points, unexpected, rebellious, challenges, time to learn. And that cat's eyes are just so strong with just, it's like he looks like he just has so much wisdom inside, but he's a cat and he can't verbalize it. I don't know. But, so trying to figure out why, and that's natural to do that, because we think, but I showed so much genuineness. I showed so much loyalty. I showed so much unconditional love. Okay. Well, it's natural to expect people to treat us the way that we treat them. But the reality is that most of the time they're just fucking not going to. Okay. Even though the rule of thumb is treat those how you want to be treated. It's just not going to happen. It's better for us and our health and our getting ourselves to where'd it go? Come back to life. Okay. And then understand why. Get that back up in the reverse. If we just say, okay, it is what it is. But I know it's not good. So I'm moving forward from that. I'm going to cut that cord, and it's going to hurt. Yeah, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt like hell. But you know what? That's okay. Because that's what happens. You know? I had open heart surgery. Fucking scary as shit, you know? But completely alone. No one there to, you know, even be there if I were to not make it, you know? But I just had to accept it and go through with it. And that's what I had to do for my health. And this is what we have to do for our health, is just be okay with not understanding, but knowing that our intuition is telling us this person, place, or thing is not serving us, is toxic. We're letting down the divine, which I don't know about y'all, but that's who raised me. And letting down the divine is like how some people feel about letting down their parents. Like, if I feel I'm failing them, it really gets me, you know. It really gets me. So, you know, and I can feel that energy strong in that card, you know, and I can just feel them. Because they can only do so much. They can only guide us so much. They can only tell us so much. But not only that, you know, even if it is temporary and things are going to get better, you know, all the parents out there, I mean, not all parents are this way, but most parents who have that maternal and paternal instinct knows that there is no greater pain or suffering than your baby hurting or suffering or seeing something wrong or injustice or cruel happen to them. And so that's a little bit of that energy too. Even if, you know, because people say, oh, well, you know, it's the divine. If things are going to get better, then they should know it's going to get better. It doesn't matter. They still know that it's hurting and we're suffering. So that's going to hurt them too. And then they're a little bit disappointed in the way that we're handling it too, though. Even just because it has to, you know, be torn down still doesn't mean we have to behave in the ways that we are, you know. But at the same time, we are only human. And some don't know that, you know. I've literally had them tell me, you know, like, you guys look to us like we're so saintly and perfect and all that. But what you guys don't know is how much we look at y'all with admiration and respect, because you guys are the ones who chose and agreed and took that contract to go to that fucking hell. I mean, really. And go through those dark places. For those of us that do, depending on where you are on your journey spiritually. I mean, some people have very easy lives. They're just babies. They're just whatever. But those of us that are old souls and have that cell spirit memory, you know, I've literally, you know, I don't care, you know, how it sounds, but had them say, like, angels do look at us with the same admiration as we look at them. If that's comprehensible to y'all. If it's not, it's not. You just haven't read that textbook yet. It's a good one. Maybe these ones don't want to talk. We'll try one more time. And this is just, okay. Masquerade. Yeah, you know, with sorry, I don't normally read from the book, but sometimes if I oh my God, if I feel spirit telling me to, then that to me, well, one is I'm going to obviously do it because that's what they say, but that just means that there's something in there that is going to resonate in a way that I wouldn't quite say. You know, and I could share my thoughts on that one. I'm looking for that. Definitely, I feel like being in this energy and people act in different ways towards us, and everyone kind of being in this, it's either that fight, flight, or freeze mode. Everybody seems to be in some sort of survival mode. And I feel like we're having to, definitely like have this masquerade. Like we have to pretend because that things are or lack thereof a certain way just to get by, until the next moment. Like it's literally surviving moment to moment and faking it till you make it. Whatever show, whatever masquerade, whatever facade you got to put on, you got to put on. Almost there. Sorry. So, I know I just hold these up for y'all and I read it because I think it's important. I try to show every card. I know I don't always, but because sometimes, you'll see things that'll hit your intuition, that, it's just like everybody interprets things just like artwork. Well, it is artwork, and it may hit your intuition in a way or personally resonate in a way that, you wouldn't have known if I didn't show it. So it says, what I can't have forever, I will have for a minute. What I can't have for a minute, I will have for 1 second. Under the guise of Cupid, I will come to you. Under the guise of a thief, I will fly away. There is often guilt in taking the mask of Don Juan or Donna Juana. The seducer is not a master of love, neither of manipulation. He is the master of ephemeral, of what is fleeting and brief and transit to the extreme. He is the master of the moment. And as such, he forgot all other kind of eternity. There is a guilt if you care, because if you are not building, there's a guilt out of loss. Because if you are not treasuring, there's a guilt out of indifference. Because when you don't care, you cheat yourself out of indifference. And when you cheat yourself, I'm sorry, hold on. You cheat yourself out of meaning and value. Sometimes there is guilt in the selflessness, in the desire itself, in everything leading to pleasure, as if the only pleasure that can be sacred are only those labeled as such. The masquerade is a dance. It is a road that goes in circles and ebbs and flows and always ends with the first light. Before the time comes, hold it tightly. When the time comes, let it go. Wow. That was deep, and I think that goes on to saying, like, these things that we're experiencing and feeling that we're not used to on the regular, on the rig, I'm sorry, I'm like download complete or what? Anyways, and it's like we can always find ways of whatever we're doing. There's always a reason to not be good enough or feel good enough or failing ourselves in another way. But that's probably another lesson in this energy that we're in, is to feel the human stuff, make the mistakes. That's what you're here for. Yes, some of them have already made them and learned them and we're good, but some of us haven't. And it's not a one size fits all. So, when you indulge or do something that may be taboo to somebody else, or maybe you splurge a little bit because it's tax return time or something, so the fuck what? Like, be human every now and then. It happens. It's okay. You don't have to be spiritual all the damn time. Because when you do that, all you're doing is focusing on you're human regardless. So all you're doing is focusing on the shit that you're doing that's human, that you think spiritually you shouldn't be doing, because then it makes you not worthy spiritually. It ain't like that, y'all. It ain't like that. And that's one of the biggest things that, and all due respect to each their own, but that's one of the biggest things that I have with religion is the way that it can. I'm just, never mind, I'm not going to go there. I'm just not going to go there. 31, anointment, Honestly, I feel this with that. Like, alls we're doing is just literally just stabbing ourselves in the back. Nobody else is even doing it. We're just stabbing our own selves in the back when we act in that behavior. Like, come on. You're not perfect. You have eternity to live that way. Don't make yourself suffer for that, and again, this is 31. That's that 4 again. You know, there we go with another synchronicity. We got 2s and we got 4s. And like I said, this really is like material world shit, or like stability, instability, or order, lack thereof, you know. I'll just look real briefly if there's anything that sticks out, but if spirit tells me that pretty much sums that up, then I'm just gonna go with that, because we're at, oh my gosh, time always flies when you're having fun. It's already been an hour. Although when I start getting to these other videos, y'all, they are going to be shorter. Like, yay! It's okay. That's okay. Y'all can be happy it's shorter. I get it. I talk to an infant all day, so I apologize. Yeah, so accepting the full burden of responsibility, the fair as well as the unfair, with no discount. Accepting pain is a way to survive the pain. Not all things burn, but some should. Letting go of the ifs and the buts, taking it all in, whether it's ours to take or another's to shoulder. If you have a piece of what puts you at fault normally, you should try to separate it and weight it evenly with what makes the other at fault and with what you made it right. A little for a little, but it rarely does it move anything forward. Sometimes we need a clean slate. I mean, that kind of goes back to what I was saying about trying to figure out why someone did this and why they did that. It's just literally the definition of insanity and going to drive you insane, because you clearly don't think that way. That's why you don't understand it. And we have the understanding in reverse. And so you're just driving yourself insane. And I mean, this is just kind of backing that up. Like, it's saying the same thing. Like, does no good to try to sit there and like tid for tad, you know? Sometimes you just need to like let that shit go and either have a clean slate, you know, or it helps create closure. You take the dark in so others can stay in the light. I know that a lot of us, especially those of us that are very ascended or deep into our spirituality, have taken in so much dark for others, to the point that we're taking it to our graves just so they can stay in the light. It's like, there's my one good Samaritan deed for you. Love you. Thanks for what you did to me, though, you know, type of thing. And that's okay. Even if they don't deserve it, even if you don't deserve it. Really, it's about just acceptance at the end of the day, instead of driving yourself insane, you know, instead of stabbing yourself in the back. I mean, you know, and that was just my first interpretation of it. But, you know, I like that I read it, because, you know, there's definitely some deeper shit in there that was good. But, and I think we're good with 2 of those. You know, I do like to always do bottom of the deck, though. Obsession. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of us are getting caught up in little obsessions because it's like I said, we're so discombobulated, and we're not understanding why people are being the way they are. We're not feeling quite, sorry, the way that we're used to, and so we're getting so worked up and obsessed with this change. And that's normal. I mean, even down to animals. It's like when they, and I can't even talk about that because that there's like kids, they're so innocent. I can't even use an example of that. I'm not going to. I can't right now. I don't know why I just got overly sensitive. Y'all stop sending me those sensitive vibes. And I don't know if anybody else has been. I feel like we've been overly sensitive lately too. Like either people are overly sensitive or overly cruel lately. It's so weird. So weird. But again, I'm not gonna obsess about it. I'm not gonna try to figure it out. Just drive ourselves insane, right? So on that note, let's check in with our lovely, wonderful, sweet animals as mine's waiting over there to go the fuck to bed. He's like, Mom, really? I love him so much. Gosh. They seriously are the greatest gifts from the divine aside from our children. He never leaves my side. I mean, I can get up at weird ass hours like this and he is right there. I already know he's my familiar. For those of you who are aware of that term, but yeah, he's my ride or die. Normally I have two. Normally he's got a little buddy. Ooh. I don't know if I'm taking all of those. I'm not sure how many fell. Just 3? Oh, okay. Then that's good. That's fine. So, we got the fox spirit. Think on your feet. Don't be caught up in don't get too caught up in like the details right now or whatever. I know they say live in the moment, but right now, just let life do how life's gonna do and just think on your feet in the moment. That's all you gotta do. Go with the flow, think on your feet. It'll be good. Okay, and then we have the koi fish spirit. There's always enough. There's no reason to get obsessed over things or, worry because there's always enough. It's like I was reminding myself earlier with the stuff that's going on with me. It's like there's always help. I've made it through so much more shit. There's always help. It's always going to work out, even though it fucking sucks ass in the moment. But there's always enough. And the koi fish is a very beautiful fish. It's a very strong spiritual meaning too. And then we have the swan spirit. Time for a deep dive. See, I like this matte finish because I don't have to worry about reflection issues. But I love all my cards. yeah, and I feel like this is really speaking to people who are just kind of starting to dip their feet into spirituality. I don't know why they call it New Age. This shit is ancient. This shit is before man-made religion. I was just talking to someone earlier about that. I'm like, where did this whole New Age thing come from? The stuff that like I talk about and that when I find the far and few in between that can have a conversation about that stuff, that ain't New Age shit. That's like prehistoric shit written in cave walls with symbols that we still use to reference. And bottom of the deck, flamingo spirit. Embrace the in-between time. It's like I say, the meantime, in-between time. Okay? And this right here, I feel, is even more confirmation that this is just temporary. This is just some time that is just a period for us, and just because it's showing up in ways that are different and that we're not used to, and it's making us uncomfortable, doesn't necessarily it's the end all be all. You know what I mean? So, and I'm gonna pull a couple just a couple of romance angel cards and a couple oracle. I'm going to try to go for 2 and 2 since that's been apparently my theme lately. I don't know. Makes sense. And then we'll wrap it up. And I hope that all of y'all wake up and enjoy this message for the collective. I hope you didn't spend too much time in the 5D and actually got some rest tonight. I know that we've all been pretty active on our journeys at night, so we're going to bed and waking up just as tired as when we went to bed. Or you're like me and missing out on your time out there. Rather be there. Why not? I don't know, because whatever. Y'all must be like having like some kind of fun party without me or something. I don't know. Or maybe something's going on up there and I'm the only one down here to get this out for all y'all. The early bird gets the worm. So all you early birds, well, I don't know if you guys do, but I know like in the morning when my car was drivable, I loved to turn on just shit. Sometimes music, depending on my mood. Don't get me wrong, but and listen to it just to start the day. So I do hope that those of y'all that check this out in the morning, I hope that it does help your day. Because, you know, this really isn't a bad reading for the collective. So 2 things did come out. And I choose 2 because, you know, not only has that just been like really strong synchronicity for me, but I also feel like it gives a good like 50-50 kind of thing. Like, so for 50% of the collective, a message can apply there. The other 50% a message can apply there. And then, well, anyone else, if it doesn't resonate, like I said, it just doesn't resonate. Don't try to make it fit if it doesn't fit. We don't like that. That's too uncomfortable anyways, and we already have enough of that going on. So anyways, we have you deserve love. You are lovable. I think we started with one of those cards with the indigo angels, right? We sure did. Oh, well, it was you are special. So you are loved and you're special. Okay? So really take that in. And I'm picking up like with this, like with how focused she is and stuff. And like the waves crashing and all the little cute ass naked butt babies behind her. Like wanting to pick the one for her, but she's like, I got this one. I trusted y'all asses too many times and they broke my heart. I'm getting the right one. She's so focused. And they're all looking at her like, meh. Like, I feel like a lot of you really are, and this is what happens during times like this. Like, you guys, and I know I recently experienced this, and I experienced it in a way that I never thought I would experience it when I did, like I was just saying, which was pretty neat. In this aspect, self-love is you guys, for a majority of you, found your self-love, are owning it, and are like, you know what? I know I deserve love. I'm lovable, and I'm shooting that arrow at exactly what I want. And it doesn't have to be a person, you know? Some of us could be in the mode, you know, kind of like I'm at right now, where I'm like, you know what? I just want to be with my babies, my boys, and my dog, and focus on our shit and have it go smooth and watch movies, play games. And I'm totally happy with that. I don't want to know. I don't care. Well, I don't want to say. We got to be careful what we say right now, and truly do, because before I had my accident, I literally said how stupid people were driving, and hopefully I'll make it back at a decent time and not get in an accident. So, like, I'm really trying to be careful. It's not that I don't care. Yes, of course. None of us want to be lonely. I do want love one day. But I'm just at a time right now where, and I am just one of those people where I love my me time. And a lot of people don't really understand that unless they truly understand that and they're a me time person as well. It's like one of those things where it's black and white. And as long as I get that, then I'm good. And then I definitely do want, like, you know, to cuddle my hairbrush, to fucking get all into the, I won't get all X-rated, but anyways. And then for the other 50%, religious factors, your love life is influenced by religious upbringing and spiritual path. So again, what I'm feeling with this is there's such a strong spiritual, if I bend it a little bit, and this is just my input. However, this may be calling to you or resonating to you, it does to you. But what I'm kind of getting with this is that there's such a strong spiritual energy that's going around, like not any type of particular religion. Like it's really like individual, intimate, spiritual relationship with the divine, which is, in the bottom of the deck, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And again, I think this has to do with like that friendship card, like that it's just the divine reminding us that, I mean, some of you could have, you know, it was Valentine's Day, you know, if you get all like mushy and fluffy duffy like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I was like that. There's time and place. But I feel like this card could be them reminding us to make sure that we're engaging with those that we truly love in our life. Like, for example, and I am never this sensitive, but I don't have family around. And I was with one of my friends, and it was her birthday, and she drove by her dad's real quick to get something. And he kept saying, well, your mom and I were hoping that, you would stay. So why don't you, drop your friend off and come back? We just want to spend a little time with you for your birthday. And she kept kind of being like, well, like she really didn't want to stay. So she's like, well, I'm not I don't feel like I'm in the right clothing. I'm kind of cold. I want to get, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, told me, he's like, well, do you mind getting in the cars with the babies? And he told her, come inside. And when she went inside, like a tear just fell down my face because, and bless her heart, she's like a great person, but I feel like some people really take for granted, like, yeah, maybe sometimes your parents can be controlling, but like, that's not always the worst thing that it could be. You literally could not have somebody sitting there saying, can you please just spend a couple minutes? Like, we have something special for you. And so I think that this is an important thing. Like, if you have people, family, whatever, even if they get on your nerves or whatever, we don't have forever, y'all. So engage in those moments. Cherish those moments. Hold on to those moments. Focus on that instead of all this other discombobulating shit. And I'll do a couple of these, and then we will wrap it up. And hopefully, if this resonates, or anyone wants a reading, just put your email in the comment box below. That's just how I have it for right now. But I am working on bigger and better progress. And I will get back at you. Oops. And of course, I like to see y'all's comments, just regardless, whatever it is you have to say, because I like to engage with y'all. I like to hear your thoughts. So we have the return of Aphrodite, temple, birth of the goddess, guidance, goddess energy, treated as sacred. See, y'all? Like, really, I'm picking up on that energy again. That rigidness, and this discombobulating energy is just tearing down the old to bring in, just look how beautiful that is, the dolphins, and how she's just like, the sun's just beaming off of her as she owns her inner goddess energy, the birth of a goddess. And that's truly, we all have that in us, and she's got the dove. Such peace, such beautiful energy. I always feel I knew when I ordered these cards, and they have another one that's close to this that I almost got on accident, but I knew when I ordered these cards, there's something about me with water. I love it. And it's weird because I'm cusp but it's still not a water sign. But I love the water. I love everything about it. I love the rain. I love the bath. I love the shower. I love the swimming pool. Now, when I can't really see what's underneath the water, I have a little bit of issue there because I've literally had, like, now being in Texas, well, even in California, like where I lived, like there were shark attacks like on the daily because they literally had to close Seal Beach because that was what was attracting them, and they were literally attacking people. And I don't think I believe that shit where it's like, oh, they don't even like the taste of people, because I think they'll eat whatever. But anyways, yeah, this is a beautiful energy. It's like the birth of a goddess, which I think is people coming into their spirituality, like getting out of that fear-based practices. And if you're happy there, that's great. That's what's meant for some people. But there's some people that aren't happy there and that are really embracing this new individual, intimate relationship that they're discovering within themselves and the divine, and owning that. And finally feeling at peace and feeling a belonging, feeling at home. Even with that key she's holding, it's like, I feel like that's like our key. And I keep saying I want to go home. It's like, in all good timing. You know, obviously we don't want to go tomorrow. A lot of us have kids and stuff like that. But if we can do this right and humanity can get its shit together, you know, it can just be some badass shit. I mean, it will be some badass shit regardless, but how did I know? Dreams, vivid dreaming, dream messages, dream teaching. Okay. I'm feeling like for a lot of people, I mean, this has been coming up, dreams. And I'm one of those people, I dream a lot, but I've been getting really frustrated because I've been dreaming lately, and it's like I remember it for like the first couple minutes when I wake up, and then by the time I can even try to write it down, it's gone. And I hate that because I know they're powerful. So I think this is definitely, you know, the divine reminding us to, well, I think it's one of two. I'm feeling two energies here. To pay attention to our dreams, those of us that dream, to pay attention to our dreams. They may not make sense when you don't write them down and you just have them come and go and they're different all the time. But if you were to write them down and actually read it, you might see something that you didn't realize. But I also think that it's the other energy I'm getting, like looking at her, it's almost like, I know she's underwater, but it's like she's so at peace and content. It's almost like, and I know this is weird, but this is the energy I'm picking up on. I'm trying to get the reflection off so you guys could see, but I get this womb-like sense, like there's so much peace. And that's weird with the other card saying the birth of a goddess. I feel like there's this womb-like energy, like she's at peace and in like a fetal position in the womb. You know, and most of the time in the womb, they're dreaming anyways, and she's getting ready to be reborn into this return of Aphrodite. Like, honestly, I think this card should have came and then this one. That's just the energy I'm feeling with that. I'm feeling those two different things. Or people might be getting, literally getting dreams of stuff from past lives, or even experiences from when they were in the womb, because when we're in the womb, we're constantly coming and going until we're born. And bottom of the deck, farewell to the moon. Appreciate and enjoy the lunar light and cycles. There we go again with the moon and the cycles. There's something up with that. Farewell to the moon. I know this sounds crazy, but it's almost like I have this weird sense that the reason why things feel so weird, that things are changing so much, that we're being required to adapt in such a weird way, and things are being like that rigid card and like broken down, and like I almost feel like in Farewell to the Moon, I almost feel like something significant, hugely significant, that's a part of our everyday living environment is gonna it's gonna change significantly, like to the point of ceasing to exist. Maybe it goes into existence, or not goes into existence, but maybe that was a psychic slip. Maybe there's something that does come into existence that we didn't know about, and we have to learn to adapt to it and coexist with it. Or maybe something goes extinct and nobody was prepared for it, but it's already in the process. It's already taking place. We just aren't aware of it. There's a tons of shit that we're unaware of, that the government doesn't tell us, or that, like I was saying, like, if people think that we are the only living beings, like, really, maybe there's some new shit about to come. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm picking up on some energy like that. And I don't know why I picked these up. I know I said that was going to be the last one, but yeah. The Star. And we're going to end with that because that's a beautiful one. Hope. All right, everybody. I send you hugs for the flesh. I send you light for the spirit. And just take each moment as it comes. Be human, but stay spiritual. Remember them twos. Pay attention to synchronicities. And that's pretty kind of badass that we end with the star, because that is the divine bringing our dreams, our wishes, everything. Like I said, I think this energy is temporary, and the energy, we're all going to be rewarded with things that do serve us with our purpose. So that's what I have for y'all today. I love y'all. Like I said, I'm going to go try to get a couple hours of sleep, and hopefully tomorrow my car will be working again, or someone's going to come to help fix it. So it'll be in transportation again. Trying to manifest here, trying to use words. I I will just simply be at home because I choose to be. And we'll definitely try to get out some videos because, like I said, I'm pretty sure I solved that problem. So I should be able to get out a significant amount and maybe even introduce my other project. We'll see. But anyways, I love y'all. Thank you for stopping by. And have a wonderful, wonderful Monday, okay? Monday Madness calls for Monday Margaritas. All right.